Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Wrap Up Live. This is myself, Sahal Abdi, here with Adon Moss of Raptors Republic. We're here to recap and dissect the latest Knicks and Raptors game that you guys just watched. This show is produced by none other than Don Yang. It's been a while. I haven't been here in quite a while. Obviously, it's been around Christmas time. New Year's has been a bunch of things going on. So I'm sure you guys have been busy too. I hope everybody who's watching had a great Christmas. Shopped if you're a Canadian on Boxing Day. Got stuck in those really long mall lines. I think Aiden, this is completely besides the point, but that's how I like to start shows. Obviously, is Boxing Day the most useless holiday Canadians have?
It's been eviscerated by online shopping.
That's what I'm saying.
Why the fuck would you ever get in a lineup?
I don't go to malls anymore. I really don't. And it doesn't really have to do with COVID. I mean, obviously you got to be aware of that stuff, but yeah, I'm just an Amazon Prime guy. I'm going on, H&M Men's, I'm doing my thing. I can't.
You're talking to the wrong guy, man. I shop at Value Village.
My guy, thrift, you know about the thrift. Yeah, come on, man. That's my guy right there.
I'm all second.
People got to really realize, thrift stores are the key to life, to happiness.
For real.
It's myself and Adon Moss. We're going to see Oren Weisfeld in a bit later. He's going to join us. Right now, he is, I'm assuming, in the post-game press conference, probably asking Nick Nurse why the Raptors look so good today. And we are coming off of a Raptors win, Adon, which is good. The Raptors are now 16-17 on the season, and they defeated the New York Knicks 120-105. Great win. A win that was probably defined, I want to say, in the third quarter. I always felt like the Knicks at one point or another would come back. Evan Fournier was hitting shots left and right. And then the Knicks just seemed to give up. I feel like their effort level really wasn't there. Fred VanVleet had probably one of the best quarters any Raptors had this season. He went absolutely berserk in the third quarter. Like, he literally was not missing shots. It was pretty insane to watch. Coming off of screens, shooting from 40 feet out, damn near 40 feet out. It was a good game to watch. Pascal Siakam, I think, did really well. Saw some good things, Adon, and some bad things from Scotty Barnes, but we're not really going to focus on the bad. We're talking about the good for now. What did you think about Fred VanVleet's third quarter and just his overall game in this one?
I gotta dig into the data, but I feel like Freddie and the third quarter are like peanut butter and jam. Like, he always seems to pop in the third quarter. He also always seems to pop when we need him, and I think that's that's what you want from your number 1A, number 1B guy. Is like, we had the Knicks kind of like we had the lead continually, but we never really throttled them, and Fred's just like kind of fuck it, I'm taking this over and finishing this here and now. And if we're gonna win real games, that's what you need. You need that guy who's gonna step up, and Pascal's capable of it too, and he's been showing that as well. So I think between the two of them, like this kind of game shows you the versatility that our two top guys can provide.
Yeah, definitely. This was the first game that the Raptors had of the new year. They did play on December 31st versus the Clippers. So they started off 2022 well. I mean, this is probably what you like to see. One of the bigger things that you're probably witnessing on the screen as you're watching, obviously if you're not watching my beautiful face or Aiden's beautiful face, is the empty crowd. There is absolutely nobody in the crowd except for one man, Aiden. And do you want to tell everybody who that one man is?
Mr. Masai himself, just sitting eerily in the stands. Man, I would feel so
powerful.
As a Raptor, I'd almost feel like stressed having his gaze upon me. He's just sitting there all powerful.
Like, imagine you miss a few shots in a row and you're looking out, and no one's in the crowd, and you're scanning, and you just see Masai sitting in like 18th row of the lower bowl, just staring at you. I loved it. Obviously, the Raptors didn't have much to do with that decision. They're just following provincial guidelines. And it did start, with obviously restrictions. I think it was 1,000 people, Aiden, that were allowed in the building, I believe. They're all scattered all over the place. And then it eventually just got to the point where it was like, all right, we're not allowing anybody in here except for, employees, the team, the staff. So, Oren, this is the thing. When you join, we're going to need some sort of theme song,
Bing bong.
something. There we go. There you go. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Welcome, Oren. We were just talking
Thanks.
about, Masai being in the stands by himself. Obviously, before that, Fred VanVleet. Oren, what did you think about Fred's game tonight? I should say.
I thought the picture where they showed the bench and then Masai watching over the bench was hilarious. Like,
great.
Amit made a joke on Twitter about how, like, when your boss doesn't even try to hide the fact that he's watching you, like, that must be that must be like nerve-wracking for some of those guys on the bench.
I said the exact same thing, man. Like,
yeah,
you just look over and there he is, arms crossed.
I love it.
He can see every little reaction you have to every shot and every timeout. Like, yeah. But Fred VanVleet,
that's great.
He's good. He should be an all-star.
Third quarter. What a third quarter. It genuinely felt like I think there was like 4 or 5 possessions in a row where I think maybe he shot like just off the high screen, just right here. Well, that's not the play, but off of high screens, he looked unstoppable. He really did. And he was hitting shots that we've seen Fred make before, but when he's hitting those shots, you're like, all right, like, we got good Fred tonight. We got really good Fred tonight, and it looked good.
Not to like sour anything that Fred did, because like he deserves all the recognition.
But here we go.
Why are the Knicks playing drop against Fred in the third quarter? Like,
okay, yeah,
again and again. Like this one right here. Okay, no, that was
didn't drop that.
No. But the one that Obi Toppin earlier defended was just like, come on, man. But in general, like, he had such an efficient night, and yeah, I think it was just like the way that the ball moved tonight was really good. And Nurse was even talking post game about how Pascal getting into the paint more really freed up a lot of stuff, including Fred at the perimeter, getting open looks from that stuff. So yeah, like, just the efficiency, and I think the way that everyone kind of got their looks tonight was really good.
Man, I'm going to be writing about this later this week, but Pascal's ability or his growth in making the right passing decision quickly has really improved. Like, I know he's always been a good passer, like, I think an underrated one, but this year you can just kind of see when those he's been in a lot of triple teams, and he just, like, he finds the right guy right away, and there's no hesitation. And you see, like, kind of the inverse with a guy like Precious, who's like has zero like quickness to his playmaking, right? Like, whatever, they're not in the same caliber, but you can see like the spectrum of what that can look like. And also Pascal's like generosity, like, he's really willing to give the ball up. You can kind of see him willing to defer to other guys if there's a better shot available, and that's like that's maturity as a basketball player.
Yeah.
He was the primary playmaker tonight. I mean, I like the obviously the box score looks nice when you look at the bottom of the screen. 20 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Yeah, 6 turnovers. You're gonna see that in the box score, but
a couple of dumb ones. So
I mean, yeah, but it's like, and I don't want to ever excuse 6 turnovers, but the Raptors don't really have that many playmaking options on that team, especially when Scotty Barnes can't be that play initiator you need him to be. In a game like this, Fred was just played like a scorer today, which is fine. That's totally fine. But I think Pascal had a lot of that load on him today, which is why you saw like a high turnover count. Or what were you going to say? I think you had something to say about Fred as well.
Yeah, no, I want to talk about Pascal. Like, first of all, on the selfless part, I think that's what I've been most encouraged with this season, because like I was a little worried about the fit and how Pascal was going to react to like, playing alongside. You look at the 5 starters, they're all kind of high usage guys. So I was a little worried about how he would react to like getting less shots and having his usage go down and all that stuff. But like, he's mixed. I don't think it's crazy to say that like this is the best Pascal's ever been in his career. Like, I'm not sure if that's accurate, because the 3-point shooting definitely swung stuff in that All NBA season, but I think there's an argument to be made that this is the best. And it's just because like things have slowed down for him so much to the point where he can be this incredible playmaker that I think he was also this really good playmaker last season. But I think the difference between last season and this season, aside from having better teammates, is that his shot diet is way more healthy this season.
Yeah.
Like, he's just passing up okay looks for good looks for his teammates. And he's only taking shots himself these past few games that are like comfortable shots. He's really stopped taking threes. And that's like part of it.
Yeah. you see this. You see the like analogously OG, right? Like Pascal, beginning of last year, it's like, okay, it's my team. Like I'm the primary scorer. OG, at the beginning of this year, is like pressure's on me to score. And there's like you're saying, like choosing the moments to score is something you need to learn over time. And OG's has evolved within the season in doing so, but Pascal's really grown from what we saw last year and how he's doing it to this year. And that's that like those like idioms of like letting it come naturally, like playing the moment as it develops. And that's really just something, unless you're like a really sophisticated young player, that really just comes with experience and reps.
Yeah, my whole thing with Pascal was that, 2-ish years ago in the bubble, that was kind of like the darkish time of his career where he had probably more detractors than we've ever seen. And then fast forward to last season, he had a year where obviously things didn't go, amazingly right. I think he still had a good season, but I think now we're at the point where he's came off injury. He had that off-season surgery. He's coming off injury. He's about a month and a half. I want to say 2 months into the season now. Season started in October.
Yeah, he came back like the seventh or something like that. 17th.
Yeah, 17th of
November.
So it's been a month and a half, I want to say, right? It's been about a month and a half since he's back. Yeah, so he's been a month and a half. And now we're starting to see elite Pascal. Like I'm with Oren. Like this little stretch that we've seen here is probably the best Pascal I've personally seen. Again, I'm echoing Oren when I say the shooting is probably not where it was, but he's not necessarily shooting. Like he's doing everything but shooting at an elite level, and he's playing really hard defensively too. You've seen that play right there. Taj Gibson's not an easy guy to back down. Like that, that's not an easy guy to just get to the rim at will. And it seemed like every time he was getting to the rim at will, 3 guys crowding him, finding the perfect moments to pass, finishing at the rim really well, drawing a ton of fouls. I see already people in the comments talking about, the wild amount of fouls that we're calling this game, but a lot of them were fair. But for both teams, for the Knicks and the Raptors, I think Pascal, when you just can't guard a guy, your best bet is just to foul him, and I think that's what was happening with Pascal today. Fred was just hot
on Pascal. Back to the selflessness, I think people like underrate him because he doesn't play like a traditional number 1 option or like a traditional max player this season. He's doing like all the little things that you don't really expect from that guy in terms of like the way he's been crashing the glass these past few games and just like winning 50-50 balls. And like we talked about, like passing up all these open shots, like that's just kind of rare for a max player to do. So like it says a lot about, I think, Pascal, the person, but also like the culture they have, that they've kind of convinced him to buy into this role despite the money he's making and like the fame he has and all that stuff. And it's obviously best for the team, him in this role compared to him, how it was last season.
And that's similar on the defensive end too. Like the thing is the advanced metrics don't really like prove out for Pascal defensively, but like, he's like the like foundation, the spine of that defense, right? Like he's like that interstitial muscle. He's always roaming. He's always got his hands. He's always kind of clogging lanes and rotating, busting up pick and rolls. Like that stuff's hard to put in the data, but when you watch the game, you can see how effective he is. And similarly, superstars don't typically play that kind of defensive role unless you're a big, like an Anthony Davis or Draymond.
But this is almost the Pascal that they envisioned. This is the Pascal that the Toronto Raptors wanted to. This is. I think if we're not going to see 20 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists every single game. I mean, we might see something close in terms of maybe close to 10 rebounds, 5 to 7 assists. I think the Raptors are for that. I'm more worried, if anything, about the the bigger picture. Which is the Toronto Raptors win games, and can this be sustainable? I don't know about you guys. I think it can be sustainable with Pascal. There's not a lot of guys in this league that can guard him. There just isn't. With Fred, it's a different story for me, and I don't want to harp on Fred at all. But he is more of a streaky player. Like you see tonight, I keep saying tonight. I keep forgetting. I keep saying tonight because I think it wasn't a matinee, and I'm just so used to doing it.
It's dark
at 10
early.
p.m., 11 p.m., midnight.
It's dark early.
Is it dark outside? Okay, yeah. So it's dark outside. So I can say tonight. Okay, guys. Sorry if you're not Canadian. It's dark outside. Or I should say Ontarian. But I think this is the Pascal, like I said, that they wanted to pay. I'm okay with this. I've been okay with this. I've always said once we reach that quarter point to midway point of the season, if you're not getting, a tremendous improvement from Pascal, which is what we're seeing now, then you start to worry a little bit. Because let's be honest, Oren and Adon, Pascal is a guy that's almost been like the easy scapegoat for the Raptors, because, for fans, in 2019, the Raptors win a championship. Kawhi Leonard, the most talented player maybe in franchise history, leaves, and then all the burden is now on Pascal, to hold the fort. And everyone knew Fred at that point wasn't necessarily ready. So it was really just Pascal. How long is Kyle going to be here? Everyone knew not for very long. Just is what it is. And Pascal was kind of like the scapegoat. And some people can say that's fair. Some people can say that's not fair. But I think if you had a holistic view of the Raptors over the last few years, you knew Pascal was never really that 1A mega superstar player, that all NBA first teamer that I think people pegged him out to be, as some people did at least. But if you're getting this Pascal, who's quite clearly playing like an Eastern Conference All-Star, I'm okay with it. Will the rest of the Raptors kind of, raise themselves to his level, or can they play to Pascal's level? I don't know. 100%.
I'm trying to argue this week that Pascal is a deserved All-Star, which is, a little bit of a stretch. But though I said it kind of similar to you, Sahal, I said like Fred right now is our best player, but Pascal's like the ultimate ceiling guy, like the guy who's least guardable when he's firing on all cylinders. And, especially I'm just looking at his mid-range numbers. Like he shot 48% from mid-range last year, and he's at 70. No, sorry. He shot 41% last year. He's at 44%. And that jumped like 30 percentiles in for bigs. So like, if he's mastering the mid-range, which he has been, and then starts to get that 3-point shot working a little bit more, like he's nearly unstoppable. Like there's very few guys that can guard him at all three levels like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the plus minuses as well, guys. The story of the Raptors this season has been that when everyone's healthy, the starters are great. They can play with anybody. But, Nick just loves to give those starters 40, 41 minutes. And I don't know if I really blame him at this point, because of the lack of bench play. And this is what I was talking about. I know the Raptors won by 15 against a depleted New York Knicks team. But holistically, I personally, I'm not taking too much out of this game. It's 1 out of 82. I'm very happy with the win. I think this is a win that they needed. These are the type of wins that you have to have. If you're the Toronto Raptors, you have Pascal back, OG's back, Fred's back, Ken Birch is back, Precious is there, Gary's there, the whole team's there. So you almost have to win these games, and they made it look pretty easy. But I don't know, guys. Utah -8, Justin -6.
Yeah, we should talk.
Do you guys think this is an underlying issue that maybe we don't like to address during wins, or what do you guys think it is?
I think the good news is that the starters are playing better together.
Yeah,
like right off the bat, the team is getting better. Like they did not move the ball nearly as well as they did today at the beginning of the season. Their defense, they're rotating much more on a string compared to the beginning of the season. And by starters, I include Kem in that, because when Gary Trent Jr. He left the third quarter very early because foul trouble, Kem came in and they looked like, they started the game together like that. Those two groups both playing really well together. But I think you're right to bring up the bench. Like it's a huge concern. It's the reason that the Raptors are a game under 500 right now. And that, you have concerns kind of going forward this season. If they can secure a playoff spot, it's really only the bench. Like I think we can talk about like the Raptors like number one option in a playoff series. Like it's not ideal, but in a regular season, their only real issue is the bench. But you kind of hope that they can figure that stuff out at the trade deadline, I think. you hope that you can get some sort of marginal upgrade, maybe over Boucher, maybe an upgrade at the backup point guard spot. Because I don't know if you guys talked about this, but they just did not play Flynn or Banton for the first time all season up until like the end of the game. So that was significant to me that he has like that little trust in the two backup point guards.
Yeah, Flynn only 5 minutes, Delano 5 minutes as well. They played together, both -6s. And this is almost the thing I was talking about. Because like I said, like I've mentioned this multiple times, guys, we've been spoiled with such great Raptors benches over the last decade. And they actually mentioned this during the broadcast that when the Raptors were doing well and they were up on a team like this, whether the team was depleted or not, the bench would come in and instead of holding the fort, they would actually increase the lead, and that's how the Raptors developed that bench mob mantra. The bench has been good historically, and now we're at the point where it's almost like you hold your breath when some of the bench guys are coming in because you just don't know. You simply just don't know. Justin Champagny, he was a -6. Utah, I'm not really worried about being a -8, to be quite honest, because he's one of the few guys that I think you can rely on the bench pretty consistently, because he doesn't even necessarily need to shoot all that well to have an impact on a game. Chris Boucher, guys, we got to talk about him a little bit, I think, because he was a +17, the second best plus-minus in the entire game after Scotty Barnes. He played 21 minutes. He had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 4 for 7. He had 4 free throws. He was active. And I like the fact that the broadcast talked about that when Chris Boucher is coming in these fast spurts, he has no choice but to go, 130% on the court, which is why sometimes he looks so out of control. What did you guys think about Chris's game?
I was actually going to say I'm officially out on the Chris Boucher trade.
Okay. Whoa.
Really?
All right.
I think
all right.
My beef with Boucher all season is that he's not doing what he's good at, and that's like putting his head down, working hard, making the right decisions, like being that energy guy. And over the last, I don't know, maybe 5 games, I'm just pulling up his stats here. Like, yeah, over the last almost 10 games now, like his rebounding's gone up. His 3-point attempts, other than the Cleveland game, which was disgusting, have gone down. Like he's fitting the role we need him to play, and I actually don't think Precious is ready to play those minutes. Like I like Precious is doing what Chris was doing earlier. Like he's being a ball stopper. He's not making the right decisions or quick decisions. And I think, like Oren saying, if we want to go like get into the playoffs and compete in the playoffs, I don't think Precious is going to be a rotational player, and if he is, it's going to be a few minutes. So unless Boucher is getting us multiple pieces or a high value piece that we see semi-long term, which I understand because Boucher is expiring. Like if we're just talking about in basketball terms, I think Boucher is kind of essential to our team now.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I hate to
go ahead. Give us your opinion and don't shy away.
First of all, you can't only think about it in basketball terms, like as hard as it sounds. Like you have to think about the expiring contract and whether or not you want to pay him beyond this season, I think. And I don't know why the Raptors would want to, just because they have so many forwards going forward. Especially you think they're probably going to re-sign Utah. And then it's like Kem, Precious, Siakam, Barnes, all of those guys play the 4, the 5 kind of Utah. So I just think I don't see there being room for him going forward. And I also just don't trust that the way he's been playing these past few games is going to continue past
that's where I'm at
into the playoffs. I don't trust him as a rotation piece. And I think that's a fair point on Precious. There's not enough sample to say Precious can be trusted, but I've seen the sample with Boucher for so many years now to know his play is very up and down. And I just, I'd rather get anything back than maybe he gives you some minutes in a playoff series and then you don't re-sign him kind of thing.
Yeah, let us hear your opinions in the comments. I know you guys are already sounding off. I see a lot of people saying trade high. Obviously, Miles Turner.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like he's playing so well right now.
I do agree with that part.
Trade value a little bit.
Yeah, I do agree that like if you can get obviously, like I'm not going to be disappointed if we trade him. I'm just saying like winning. Before I was totally out on him, and now I'm just like I think if bigger picture, I understand why we would trade him, and it makes total sense. I'm just saying, like, he is quite integral to this roster right now, and like he's really the consistent bench player we have at the moment. Unless you want to include Birch, who's not really like a bench player right now. I think as far as the bench goes, though, I think we're 8 strong right now. If you can figure out the intervals with Pascal and OG and Freddie and Scotty or whatever the combos are, I think like we'll be okay. The bench scored 33 tonight, which would put them at around 20th in the league. We averaged 24 a game, so it's like that they actually outperformed themselves tonight. So
yeah,
if we can get that kind of consistency, we're in a better spot than we have been all year. And we haven't had this depth all year either, right? Like this is the first time we've seen everybody. So I think we need to give it 3 or 4 games to see how that flushes out.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say about Precious is that this was like a terrible, terrible game for him. But Barnes also had a pretty bad game. Like these guys were just coming out of protocols, and it was clearly rough. I do think we've seen Precious progress a lot this season, especially defensively, like from the start of the season to how he was playing before this COVID outbreak. So I definitely have more faith in him that he's going to keep getting better play himself into a rotation spot potentially by the time the playoffs roll around. And with him, it'll definitely be like matchup dependent, whether or not they need like 2 centers in their rotation or not, or if it's a smaller kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely have a good amount of faith that he'll bounce back and he'll be one of those dependable pieces off the bench soon.
Going back to Chris Boucher really quick, guys, if you do trade him at the trade deadline, what is the goal? Are you okay with getting, whatever protected first round pick? Do you have to get a role player back?
Well, I think that's the question we need to talk about. It's not if we trade Boucher or not, or what we get back for them, but like, what is the ultimate goal of the team this year?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the goal is not to you're sellers at the deadline, though. I think the Raptors should be sellers in the sense that they shouldn't be like trying to punt any of their future capital for the now. I think it should be a future focused deadline for sure. So, I mean, if you can just get, say, like 2 second-round picks and salary fill it for Boucher, I think that's better than nothing, considering I think the odds are slim they want to re-sign him. So, like, I'm not picky about what they get back, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's ideal goals where, I would like a third center on this roster. I would like a backup point guard. But if you can't get that stuff and you just have to take, like, a couple second-round picks, I would take that, too.
I don't know that Masai rolls like that. Like, I mean, maybe I don't know that I know enough about the Kyle Lowry situation, but like that screamed deadline trade, right? Like everything. I mean, I guess he thought he was going to get better in the offseason and he had his eye on Precious. I don't know, but we were more sellers then than we are this year. First of all,
we can.
What is this?
I'm out too. Yeah, I'm not giving any future first.
Neither am I. I don't trust Christian Wood either necessarily.
Didn't he just get into a big spat with his coach in Houston?
He refused to check into the game for the second.
I also saw another one that was Boucher and Eric Gordon being like the pieces in a swap, and it's just like Eric Gordon's got 2 more years. He's 16, more I think.
Yeah,
like
18
20 mil a year. It's like we don't want that.
His
either.
agent's amazing. You know what, Eric Gordon? I hope your agent is watching this because I salute you, my man. Be my agent.
Our guy S had something about this Eric Gordon ideal, and he said, I don't get why people are pretending that the Raptors will ever use their cap space. So you might as well pay an Eric Gordon because you're never going to get a free agent. I'm out on. I disagree with that logic. Like,
I do too.
First of all, I'm optimistic that the Raptors will one day be a free agency destination because
it will be.
I see a lot of Canadians in this league, and I think that the next generation of Canadians will want to play for the Raptors. So that's a bit down the line thinking, but I just believe that. And regardless, we've seen how you can do stuff with cap space that doesn't mean paying bad free agents. Like there's sign and trades to be made. There's money to take on for a first round pick. Like I'd much rather do that stuff than pay or have Eric Gordon who can't stay healthy and is like older.
Sorry,
go ahead, Sal.
No, I was just going to say, this is a very critical time for Masai Ujiri. I know we say that every single year because it seems like something new is happening every single time. Last year was Kyle Lowry. Oh my God, is he going to stay? Is he going to leave? What's happening? Year before that, oh my gosh, can we get Kawhi back? No, we can't. Okay, let's move on. I really think this is super critical because the decisions you make now, they're very significant in terms of, relating to this trade we see here, Christian Wood and Eric Gordon. Christian Wood is pretty well known, I want to say, at least in NBA fan circles and in writer circles, as, especially with the story that just came out, as maybe not the most coachable guy. And the Raptors are in a very delicate place because their team is extremely young. I'm pretty sure still one of the youngest rosters in the league. And, mixing a young team with a player that's had issues with coaches before, or a coach before. And I'm not trying to say this is the type of guy Christian Wood is, but it never looks good, a thing like this, like not wanting to sub on. It doesn't matter how bad your team is. The Bobcats had like 8 wins in what was it, 2012, guys? They had like 9 wins. It was bad. I mean, Kemba went through hell over there. So, I mean, you can't. I think I wouldn't want this trade personally. I know people would love this trade. Have friends that would say, "Oh my gosh, how would you not trade Christian Wood back?" Because that's like
crazy trade. They're saying rights to swap first round picks as well as a first round pick.
Yeah, so it's both.
That's
so it's the first 2022 first.
I think Christian Wood's value is around there right now, probably.
2 first round picks.
One's a swap, right?
Yeah, because it's just.
I mean, Boucher's expiring, Dragic is expiring. You're basically just getting the picks.
The Raptors 2022 first, like, as optimistic as I am, that's a valuable pick now. Because they could easily slide. Like, a couple of injuries, Fred VanVleet goes down for 2 weeks, they could easily slide. So
exactly,
I think the right trade is, if you're going to trade Boucher, it's a young combo guard and like a second rounder, like the Jalen Noel trade. Like, I think
I like that kid, by the way.
Me too. He's a big scorer. I think that's what makes sense. And you improve your team immediately, but you also kind of go long term. But also, I think if you can get a bad first round pick or like a good second, I also think those are valuable picks. I think the league is just getting younger, and that's why I'm so against trading these picks for like a Christian Wood.
Especially when you have Masai Ujiri, like your second round picks are basically first round picks at this point.
Malachi was a bit of a miss for sure, but in general, he's had a lot of success, and I think the league, like the draft, is only getting deeper. The way that we're seeing younger players play more minutes for more important minutes, like actually contribute to winning more and more. On the same trade deadline note, though, like if we leave the Chris Boucher thing, I don't think we've ever talked about Miles Turner to the Raptors.
Oh my goodness!
How do you guys?
Come on, Oren.
What?
Miles Turner, if the amount of time, what did they say? If I had a nickel for every time I've seen his name, in the last year and a half,
he's on the block officially, man. So I've been watching the Pacers recently and keeping an eye on him because I think it's an interesting fit. What do you guys think about him? And would you do a deal around? I know your answer, Sahal, but would you do a deal around Trent for Miles Turner?
No, I'm not doing this anymore.
Give me TJ McConnell, and you got yourself a deal.
You like TJ McConnell?
I fucking love TJ McConnell.
Well, he would be an upgrade.
Okay,
at our
I need you to first of all, don't ever say that again. Second, Miles Turner. Okay, so I have a story to tell everyone. Okay, what I like to do sometimes, right, is I'll hop on Instagram and I'll hop on a team's Instagram page, and I did that with the Indiana Pacers. I think it was yesterday. And they've been losing a lot recently. One of the worst teams in the league. They just seem like they're completely imploding. And I like getting, the gauge of how fans are viewing their teams. And I wanted to see, how do Indiana Pacers fans feel? Who do they want gone? Who do they love? Who do they hate? And let me tell you something about Miles Turner. They don't like him there.
Dude, fans don't know.
They don't like him there at all. I saw like this. I got to pull up the stats because I don't want to, slander or anything like that. But he had like 10 points or something like that, 10 points and 5 rebounds in a close game. And one of the comments was something like, Miles Turner, the guy who, wants all these buckets and wants all these shot attempts, gives us another 10.5 rebound game. This is great. And the comment under that was, all right, guys, time to tank. Comment under that, Paolo Banchero, let's do it. Like, it was a war zone in there. So I don't know. I'm not basing my opinion on how their fans feel about him. But to be fair, guys, as Raptors fans, a lot of times we hate when people judge players on our team because we feel like we know them the best. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because I know I'm not wrong about that. And I feel like fans generally have a pretty good gauge of players on their own teams. The Pacers are having a rough season, to be fair, so maybe their vision's a little cloudy right now. But I don't know, Miles. You don't need him to do a lot on the Raptors. Hypothetically, if he were to come here, you don't need him to be the scorer that I think he maybe wants to be, or whatever Miles Turner thinks his role is going to be on another team. Because I see him gone at this point. I think there's no way. I think Indiana Pacers are complete sellers. Like Oren was talking about the Raptors being sellers. The Pacers are sellers. Like those are the true sellers of the NBA. We might see Sabonis gone, Turner gone, Brogdon gone, all in one trade deadline. So
they said pretty much definitely one of Turner or Sabonis pretty much assured to be gone.
Here's the thing, 2 points. One is last year he was also for sale and nobody wanted him. Even Boston wouldn't even take him, right? And they were desperately in need of a big. 2, we already know what Turner does against the elite bigs in the league, and it's not much. Like Embiid eats him up, And I don't think we have a philosophy that we've instituted and we're going to run with it, and we haven't been able to run with it. This is literally the first game we've had our full roster. And, so I don't think Turner fits in that scheme at all because he's too slow and he's too one-dimensional. My answer would be no, because I don't think he necessarily puts us at the next level. I don't think this is the guy we go kind of all in for. I would pass.
Yeah, I would also pass on the deal I suggested, but if his trade value gets to the point, and I'm not saying it will, but if it gets to the point where you could get him for Boucher and Utah and I don't know, a protected first a couple years down the line, I would definitely consider it, because if you're trading Trent for him, then you're plugging one hole and whatever the other, the other opens up.
Yeah, exactly.
Whack-a-mole at that point.
You have one rubber stopper for 2 holes in a boat.
Exactly. But if you can get him, I do think he fits maybe better than you guys think, because I don't know, I've been watching him, and first of all, he is a hustle guy. He's not one of those guys who loafs around the court or anything. He'll dive after loose balls, and I like that grittiness that he brings. Second of all, I think he's quicker than he gets credit for. I don't think he could only play the drop. I think in the Raptors system, they could he's not precious on the perimeter, but by the way, precious on the perimeter is really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very fun thing to watch.
Man, I was
incredibly excited for his future.
I was looking at Pascal's defensive numbers, and Precious is all over the place on opposing opponent field goal percentage. It's crazy at every level.
He guards a lot of positions.
And he's at the top at limited field goal percentages.
True.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm excited. He just obviously needs years before he's going to be that center that the Raptors can slot in there. But I think Miles fits because, okay, first of all, the floor spacing is so huge. For guys like Pascal to score better.
Yeah.
He would help all of
he doesn't
the
want
Raptors
to do that.
starters.
He doesn't
that's what I'm trying to say. He doesn't want to be that. Yeah. He literally said, so I'm reading this article. He says, it's clear that I'm not valued as anything more than a glorified role player here, and I want something more opportunity. Is he going to come to the Toronto Raptors and get a ton more opportunity? I don't think so. I think he's going to be asked to play a role. It's going to be a very important role, but I don't know. Maybe it's the losing, or the lack of winning for them.
I think winning
that's getting to him more than anything. I think if the Raptors start winning, maybe he just forgets about it and he's okay with that role. I don't think, from what I've seen from Miles Turner, he can do that much more. I think Miles Turner is what he is at this point, and that's not a bad thing. He's a good player.
Yeah,
he just is what he is.
Well, and you said about the wood and the culture. I actually disagree, because I think Toronto has one of those rare institutional cultures that can absorb guys who think they're cooler than everybody else. I think we can kind of tame that because of the leadership we have both in management and on the roster. And I think Turner is a good player, and I think him in Charlotte, for example, would be wicked. But I don't think I just want to see what we have with the style that we want to run. The other thing is he gives me Jermaine O'Neal vibes. Like there's just something like I feel like could poison the well more quickly than we think.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this though about the role is like Nurse is pretty different than Carlisle in that even Precious gets to, handle the ball up the court, take bad shots whenever he wants. Like Nurse does give a lot more freedom to guys, but in the playoffs, when it gets to nut crunching time, yeah, he's gonna have a pretty specific role. But if you're winning, I think
do we want Turner and Birch and Precious though? That's like a lot of slow dudes.
Precious isn't slow.
Well, like slow in the sense that they're not like dynamic offensive guys. I don't know. Like when you have Boucher and one of either Birch or Precious on the front line, like going back to the Knicks game, it's like Boucher kind of makes up for like offensively, like more, maybe not speed, but like dynamism. Like he's more of a threat in more ways. Whereas I feel like right now Precious and Birch are fairly one-dimensional, and Turner kind of is as well.
Yeah, they're all centers. I think only one of them can play at a time. Yeah. Like of those three, but I also think like 3 centers is better to have on a roster than 2, and it's just like he's an upgrade over Birch. He's a significant
that's what it comes down to.
Birch, I think that's what it would be.
That's what it comes down to, and it comes back to what you were saying, Adon, and what I was saying as well about what are the Raptors' goals coming up to this deadline. If you want to get better, you try your best to force a trade for Miles Turner. You get better at that 5 spot, and yes, Precious goes down. I know a lot of people have said they love the development they've seen from Precious from game 1 all the way up until now. I see it as well. But at the end of the day, if you want this team to win, Precious is going to have a minimized role. Like on any winning team, Precious is going to have a minimized role. You have to there has to be certain priorities. It's either you want Precious to play quite a bit in that 10 to 20 minute role, or he's not going to play all that much and your team's going to be better. That doesn't mean I'm saying Precious is a bad player. I just think he's eventually going to get there. It's just right now, if you add a Miles Turner to this situation, you add him to the equation, you have a better Raptors team, which means Precious, unfortunately, is not going to play more. You sacrifice a little bit of development. And I don't know. I think the Raptors are okay with how everything looks right now. I think the only things that are probably going to change are Goran Dragic and Chris Boucher. I think they're fine with everything else.
Slovenia for personal
issues. That was never true. I don't think he ever went to Slovenia. I think he just didn't want to be with the team because
I'll never trust Bobby Webster ever again. He said to my face that he was going to Slovenia for family.
Yeah, maybe he flew there and then just took the same flight right back. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think these roles are going to get diminished the further we go in the season. Like, it starts more developmental, and then as you get closer to the playoffs, it's a little more like rigid, and then next year we'll start again more developmental, I think. But let's move on and do the Taxman.
Taxman. Who is our Taxman? Is it Fred or is it Pascal? Because I think both had a fantastic game.
Okay, who's
and we have 3 people, so someone's gonna lose. I'm gonna go with. People are not gonna like this, but I'm gonna go with Pascal. I'm gonna go with Pascal Siakam. 20 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. I'm gonna go with Pascal's the Taxman. Adon, who is your selection?
Taxman takes your money. I'm going with OG with his 3 sweet ass steals.
Okay, so he goes with OG. So now we're gonna have a 3-way tie because I already know Oren's going Fred.
No, I'm going Pascal. Actually,
let's get it.
I was excited for OG. He had a great start to the game, but he didn't have as good of a second half. But yeah, it feels like he had more than 3 steals. That part was definitely going.
I didn't get to partake in the Clippers. We didn't do a Clippers thing, did we?
No.
I want to say like one thing that is super awesome about Pascal, OG, and Scotty is like one of those 3 guys is gonna man out like their defender. Yeah. Like it's incredible. And it was one of the first games where I feel like we just repeatedly hunted that mismatch over and over and over again. And Kennard was basically that dude. But like I think like going back to kind of the Turner debate is it's like that's part of what this like scheme is all about, is that we have 3 awesome playmakers who will always have a mismatch, and we just got to find it, hunt it, and attack it, and then pass out of those rotations.
Yeah. Sorry to all the Fred lovers out there. We're
Fred got no votes. He's coming for us.
We're over it.
And it looks like in the comments, it looks like in the comments people are fine with it.
We have gotten used to Fred just being consistent this year.
Yeah.
Just being that guy. Can-Am CPA is, as you guys all know by now, a full-service small business accounting and tax firm with an experienced and friendly staff that can help you navigate Adon Moss's basketball team's offense better than ever. I'm not sure what system he employs, but it can do that. Can-Am also provides personal tax preparation and can recover the refunds that you're entitled to. So don't leave your money on the table. If you have questions about your personal taxes, reach out to Can-Am. They'd be happy to help the Raptors community and the wrap-up community. Honestly, if you call them, you email them, whatever you do, tell them Sahal, Adon, and Oren sent you, and Don. Us four, we all sent you from Wrap Up Live. And yeah, I don't know why I said that because I don't get any money from saying that. Can-Am, like I said, would be happy to help you guys. Check out their Google reviews and visit Can-Am at www.canamtax.com. I was saying that like I was going to get commission from it or something.
I know. I'm like, really?
Yeah, just say we sent you.
We should get free tax.
Right? We should. Pascal, I think that's the next level.
You guys do your taxes?
I was going to say, I need an income to pay taxes.
Pascal Siakam, give it up. 20 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. He
is
the man.
We got some great puns in the comments.
I know.
Pascal Siakam.
Oh, we do.
Even better, I have to say.
Spicy CPA. You guys are good at this.
Good stuff.
Keep that shit going. I love the puns. Do we have to claim all of the donations we get from our fan base?
Oh man, that's a good question.
That's a good question. So, I don't know if we can produce a write-up.
Oh no, we don't claim that shit.
Give it up for Taxcal.
Anyways,
Taxcal Siakam.
Anyways,
man, it was great. It was great to play a Knicks game, guys, with no Julius Randle. That was a lot of fun. I loved seeing no Julius Randle there.
Stink.
I like watching OG shut Julius Randle down.
Oh, you like that? Okay. Yeah, well, that's fair.
Let's get into the film. We got
get into some film. I know you guys have some clips you guys want to share.
Yeah, the first two are mine. They're two defensive possessions, and it's just kind of like exalting in the fact that we're healthy and we can deploy these like Spider-Man units multiple times. Like this isn't even our starting lineup. Gary's the smallest guy out there. Well, this is the second one's a different five. It's Van Vliet, who's essentially a Spider-Man in and of himself, and it's just like it exemplifies one-on-one D. For example, Pascal locking Burks down, then help siding, then Scotty Xing out to I think Burks in the corner. Like it's just this is the kind. Granted it's a Nets B or a Knicks B team, but like this is the kind of stuff that like I think Masai has envisioned for a long time. It's what Nurse likes to run. It's what's really sexy about basketball is just watching 5 thoughtful, long guys like on a string, in and out. And we see it time to time in some of the possessions or in the games this year, but like we saw it multiple times in this game, and it's exciting. And we can do that even with some of our subs. So that's even more thrilling.
Mm-hmm. Manuel, quickly.
I thought the defense was really good today. Other than getting a little handsy with the fouls, it looked really good. And I especially like the second play here where they just they're gotten a lot more comfortable knowing when they're going to switch and when they're not going to switch. Like this play, they switch and then watch OG and Fred switch there. Then there's no mismatch otherwise it's an easy bucket for Taj Gibson in the post.
Pascal has an insane defensive possession there. Like
holy, I was watching him the whole time.
I know.
He's been on fire recently.
Yeah. And this one Precious actually does quite a good job. I think he misreads that closeout at the end, but watch Pascal on this clip oh wait, Don, you replayed the other one, did you? Yeah. This is the Pascal one.
There we go.
The hedges where they switch it. he shuts Burks down on the ISO.
And he's always locked in too. There we go. Stays with him. Helps over like that. Help was crucial. And then Scotty finished it off with a good shot contest. I love that.
Love it.
Yeah, nice. All right. I wanted to highlight OG learning how to use his strength a lot better this year. This is actually what I'm going to write about this week for Yahoo. Because remember when OG used to always get called for the push off? And it just hasn't happened this year. Like, it's rarely happened this year. And he's still getting to the rim like just as much as he has in the past. Getting to the short mid-range a lot. But yeah, he's just learned how to use his strength more effectively without getting called for these offensive fouls. But like there, he's like with such a head of steam to not get called for the push-up, but to still send RJ, who's a strong guy.
RJ's RJ's not a skinny, frail little guy. Like, that guy has some beef to him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I was just gonna say, like, the other thing that OG often does is when he gets downhill, he kind of loses his balance, and he like dives forward, and you can see it kind of happening here, but he regains it, and like I think that's a huge part of his improvement this year driving.
For sure, the balance is huge, but like he does lose it here, but he loses it so close to the rim that it's not a problem, right? Yeah. Whereas in the past, he would lose it, but it would be closer to like the hash mark, and he would just have to throw something up at that point.
Yeah, I like the smaller details that you mentioned for OG. Him not, using that forearm to push off, him just straight up going up with the shoulder.
Oh,
and this play's nice too.
Yeah, this I thought, I guess, was a different play, because he did that with just using his strength to bully RJ another time as well, but. Yeah, I think it's one that, like, I just think because of OG, he always got that Kawhi comparison, and I never liked it because OG's never been the type of guy who could, like, just like Kawhi is robotic in ways, but he's also really fluid, like stop on a dime, pull up in the mid-range. OG's never had that to his game, but where I think the comparisons are really accurate is they're both like top 5 strongest guys in the NBA.
Legit.
But Kawhi
100% believe that.
But Kawhi knows how to use his strength, and OG it's always been a work in progress how to not get called for the foul but still use his strength. And I think like this season we're seeing him deploy it a lot more effectively.
I think he's only really kind of found his man strength like towards the end of last year and this year too, right? Like I think we'll see more and more of that as the years come, where like he understands how to use his strength, and it's more of like his hands are stronger, his arms are stronger. Like it's not just his like shoulder width. And that's the thing with Kawhi. Like you see him put his hand in a guy's pocket and literally just take the ball out. And I think I feel like OG is going to start doing more of that as he gets older.
Yeah, and it's the reps too. Like in his first few years, he never got post-up reps just because he wasn't a part of the offense like that. And now he's getting them. And on top of getting them, he's playing in a lot of lineups where like he has RJ on him, like naturally, like teams are forced to put smaller guys on OG because there's Barnes, there's Siakam out there as well.
Yeah.
So it's just the way it works.
This goes back to what I think was the focus of the entire game. Like, for sure, it was a priority to attack the paint at all costs. Julius Randle, he's not there. Nerlens Noel, who's honestly one of the better shot blockers in the league, he wasn't there either. Yeah. I'm pretty sure even their third center,
Robinson, wasn't there either.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson wasn't there. Nerlens Noel, Jericho, none of these guys were there. And the Raptors took advantage, 52 points in the paint. The Knicks had 36. This was a clear priority for Toronto. And it helps, obviously, when you can get turnovers like this that, convert to points. But we saw it with Pascal just absolutely dominating in the paint all game long. OG on the clip previous, shoving RJ Barrett out of the way. But it's good. It's good to see. I would never want this to be a game where the Raptors are just firing from 3 the entire game when, all of the Knicks bigs were out.
No, you're right. Nurse basically said as much pregame that they wanted OG to get paint touches to use post ups, and just like you said.
For sure. What do we got next? Don? All right. Nice little turnover there.
Is that the muscle one?
Oh,
nice little turnover
no, this
back.
is this is
Oh,
Barnes did
wow.
not have a good game, but this pass right here, stupid.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He fooled me when I was watching the game. But yeah, he had way too many turnovers. I'm gonna look it up right now. Like, this was not a good Scotty game. It was very rough for him, other than hitting a couple threes.
He had 4.
Yeah, and his defense was also a little shaky, but I mean, you still see the transition playmaking is his best skill. And
when you can get Scotty out on the break, you love it.
Yeah, and they were really good in transition in general tonight, the Raptors.
He came out of protocols, but I also think he's finally playing with our top 3 guys. So it just seems to be in his personality to kind of just defer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wasn't the same ferocious self, and I feel like, you know, like I don't know. I wonder if he's just kind of like he takes a back seat sometimes a little bit more.
Let's talk about OG on this play. He started off the play, stepping into the passing lane, tipping the ball around.
It's true.
And then, gives it. Obviously, the play ends with like that, but he ends up staying in the paint, waiting, knowing that, hey, this doesn't look that good for Scotty, dribbling the ball up court. Turnover here. OG's waiting. It's a damn near 3-on-2, and OG breaks it up again from one of the bigger, rim rattlers, whatever you want to call Obi Toppin. That guy can fly in the sky. So shout out to OG.
Yeah, that was very Giannis-like. Like, this has become Giannis's signature play, where he'll like stunt towards the drive and then recover for the lob. But OG does that right here.
I love it. What do we got next on? Is that it? No, we got more. We've got more. We've got a Euro step into a.
Speaking of Giannis, it's actually funny that I just brought him up, because this is very Giannis. Like, going from full speed to like the half speed Euro and making a play like this was just reminded me of Giannis, to be honest. And I wanted to highlight Pascal for it because this is a really nice pass.
That's what I was saying about earlier. Like, he already knows driving that pass is going to be open.
Look at how the play starts, though. I mean, it starts in Fred's hands, and he could have easily gave it to Precious, who was running down the middle of the court. You're going to see Precious in the middle. He could have gave it to him. That probably would have ended up in a turnover, just knowing how Precious kind of like attacks the rim with very little regard. But giving it to your best playmaker in Pascal with a nice little bounce pass there, and then, like Oren said, slows down, Euro step, finds Gary Trent. That was just a very good basketball play. High IQ from Fred in finding his, who's looking honestly like an all-star teammate in the last few games, Pascal Siakam, and then ends up in a bucket.
I was gonna say on that point, like, it'll all depend on where they stand.
It's all about the standings.
Like, if they're a 6th seed by the time the all-star coaches vote happens, like, there's a chance that both Fred and Pascal could make it, I think. But if they're where they are right now, then even Fred's gonna have a hard time getting in.
Name the Eastern Conference forwards that are going in, though, right? Like, it's KD, it's Tatum. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of forwards in the East.
I don't know. I haven't
somebody else, but
I haven't looked.
Butler,
You're missing Giannis.
Well, Butler hasn't played enough games. Neither has Bam. Giannis, obviously. And then like Randall's played like shit. Embiid's a center, so
so they just divide it as forwards and guards?
Yeah, you're probably right. But I feel like when they're choosing, they still kind of look at forwards and centers. So Embiid and Giannis are locks. KD's a lock. Tatum is a lock, I think. And that's it. Like, it falls off pretty substantially.
Yeah, you got to make the case, man. I'm excited to read it because I haven't looked into like the spots and that stuff, but I think the way he's playing, for sure, he's making a case.
Yeah.
And they have an opportunity to go on a run here. That's all that really matters.
Does DeRozan count as a front court guy?
I think he's a guard.
Okay.
Because him and Zach are getting out.
When I voted, he was a guard. I don't know if you can do both or not, but
that's true.
DeRozan's a lock. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I watched both of those games live and just
really did you?
Shock. Yeah. Especially the Indiana one. because I was so confused because usually DeMar like knows the time on the clock. So was he doing that on purpose? Like that 1-footed three? Like it almost felt like he did it on purpose, which is like crazy to think that he would do that on purpose.
I saw the corner three. So I was at my friend's house. We saw the game there. But the other one, that 1-footed, like I wouldn't even attempt that on 2K, NBA 2K. Like that was insane. I literally could not believe it. Good for DeMar, man. I'm so happy for him. I'm sure most Raptors fans are.
Basically, I think it was intentional. He's just like, bum, bum.
And both times Zach LaVine was like, you could tell he was like, come on at the shot. And then both times it went in and he was like, oh, nice. We can move on though.
Let's move on. Let's do some.
The last one.
I think.
Let's go to questions.
Yeah, let's get some questions up.
The last one.
There's a bunch of questions that I think are just in our backlog right now. Currently,
Phoenix threw out a bunch, which I'd like to address one or two at least.
Yeah, I saw a bunch as we were.
Phoenix, throw out your favorite one. Well, there's that
Phoenix.
One,
Phoenix asks, "What's more important, point of attack defense or team help defense?"
Hard to say.
I saw this question on Twitter. I don't know if Phoenix is on Twitter, but I saw that question on Twitter, the exact same question. And I actually asked it to one of my friends.
I think ultimately it's help D. And I think it's basically, do you want Gobert or do you want I don't know, OG? And it's like, there's probably going to be more possessions where Gobert helps you on the weak side than OG does, just by virtue of positioning.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it depends how you read the question, because what's more important for a team or for a player to have? Because
that's a good point. Yeah, I'm assuming he means for a team.
Yeah, I think team.
But for a team, like for the Raptors, for example, help defense becomes more important than it is for a lot of teams. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For a team with Embiid or Gobert, it's different to help defense than
I think in a vacuum.
Yeah, in a vacuum, you're probably right.
This is a good question for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Giannis is a good example, right? Where people always said, why don't you put Giannis on the center? And it's always been proven that Giannis as a help guy is the more impactful Giannis. So I probably agree.
It helps that when the Raptors are healthy, they have both elite point of attack defense and very good help defense.
Well, and all of our elite point of attack defenders are good help defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I guess what you're saying. Yeah.
Which helps, right?
That's not always the case, yeah.
One of the best point of attack guard defenders in I think the history of the game, more recent than ever, Tony Allen, who Kevin Durant, by the way, says is the most difficult guy who's ever guarded him before. Those Memphis Grizzlies had both as well. They had Marc Gasol there. They had Zach Randolph there. He wasn't obviously a great defender, but he was a solid help defender. He wasn't terrible. Marc Gasol in the middle, Mike Conley. Damn.
They had
damn. That was really grit and grind.
It's the long. Well, they had Shane Battier for a while, but they had that other long Torrey. No, it doesn't matter.
I thought you were gonna say Torrey Craig. Let's pull up another one.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Jesse asks, halfway through the year, Scotty Barnes still your rookie of the year? I'll let you guys go.
I would say he is, but I would say by the end of the year, if I were a betting man, Mobley's going to win it.
Yeah.
Because they have all these injuries, whereas the Raptors are in the opposite direction, where the Raptors are getting healthy. And we saw a game like today, Scotty's going to have less and less of the ball as the Raptors are more healthy, and Mobley, I think, will have more of it.
Yeah, I think it'll come down to Mobley's offensive output. Like, he hasn't really been able to string together like legit individual scoring games, whereas Scotty has kind of blown us away in that respect. So, but you're right, Scotty's not going to get the volume that Mobley might get now, so it'll be tough. But I would say right now it's Scotty.
I would say that too, and also the rankings will depend a lot. If the Raptors they showed on the broadcast the East standings, and I was shocked to just realize that the 5th seed is wide open. I'm not saying the Raptors are going to get it, but you look at it, Cleveland has the 5th seed. They're 3 games ahead of the rest of the big group. But yeah, they're in trouble. They have all these injuries, and I trust the top 4, but beyond that, I don't trust any of those teams. in that group. So if the Raptors like pass the Cavs, then I think Scotty's case definitely becomes better.
I think Charlotte's going to get Turner.
Charlotte, I think
Charlotte's going to make a run this year. Like I think they see that same window you're talking about and think that can be them.
A lot of people are forecasting the Golden State Warriors because Wiseman just, I don't know. I feel like since they've drafted him, it's been like, oh, okay, so when are we going to get rid of James Wiseman now? I mean, so we'll see. I wouldn't mind his fit there. I mean, you could probably throw any NBA player and he could probably fit beside Steph Curry. So just the type of player he is. I'm looking at Evan Mobley's last 3 games, guys. December 31st versus Atlanta, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 for 12 shooting. It's the efficiency that sticks out for me. December 30 at Washington, the night before, he was 10 for 20. He had 21 points. And then 2 nights before that against the Pelicans, he had 22 points and 7 rebounds. But overall, Adon was right about, the scoring output not necessarily being there in terms of the super highs that Scotty Barnes has had. I don't know. I'm going to go with I think it's Scotty now, and I'm pretty confident if Evan stays healthy, it'll be Evan just based on the load. I think Cleveland's just going to be that type of play-in team like the Raptors are, but
it could be Cade too if he comes back and starts vaporizing like he was before he had to go out again.
The thing with Cade is that they're losing so much, and I know losing doesn't necessarily have to do with Rookie of the Year.
No, it does. I think it matters.
It does unless you're having a historical rookie season, which Cade is not having.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, I think Mobley's defense has just been so much better than Scotty's, but I think Scotty is more of he creates offense, whereas Mobley's like a great passer and he'll finish plays. Exactly. But he's not creating a whole lot by himself compared to Scotty right now.
I feel like that Brooklyn game put Scotty on the national front page kind of thing.
Whole world saw that.
And I think that's going to help.
Yeah. People are paying attention. Like he's either 1 or 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it might be Franz Wagner.
We've had so many. Yeah, he's really
Joshua. Good. Joshua, nice hair.
Christopher,
Kitty.
Oh yeah,
pretty boy.
Yeah, I mean Orlando. Goodness gracious, Wagner is a better player than Suggs.
Wagner.
It's crazy.
I was going to say, is Suggs playing recently, or is he has he been out?
I don't know, but I mean, when they were both healthy too, it looked like Wagner looked like a better player. So,
Suggs bad season so far. And
we're not happy about that, by the way. We're just
pointing it out.
We're just saying,
Team Cat or Team Embiid? That's a bad question. I'm sorry.
Embiid
eats every team's lunch for dinner. He's literally the GOAT.
Yeah,
I've
been Team Embiid.
Such a whiny friggin' dude, man.
Did you guys like what he said about Westbrook?
No, I didn't like. I didn't realize he talked like that. He does talk so whiny.
The whole comment section was, I did not know Karl Anthony Towns spoke like that. I did not know
his tone.
Yeah,
his tone.
Just his whiny tone.
He just sounds like a Call of Duty streamer.
Like what?
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah. It's ironic that Cat is a major stats filler on losing teams, and he's throwing shade.
How dare you say that? Like you literally won 1 season, and that was when they brought Jimmy Butler along, and then he realized that none of you guys gave a shit. So he's like, "I'm out of here."
You know what? And
here you are.
When I saw that Cat stream, I literally thought Jimmy was right, man. Fuck.
Yeah. you're sitting there just nodding slowly.
Jimmy's personality compared to this guy's personality, you could just tell opposite ends of the spectrum. I like this question though.
Yeah.
Go ahead though. You can finish.
No. I was just gonna
The biggest draft steal on the roster.
That's a good question. That's a really
Freddie
good
was
question.
technically not a draft, so Oh, I see. Aside, sorry. Okay.
FAV aside, I'm personally gonna go with. Oh, this is actually difficult.
I think
I'm gonna go with Scotty Barton. No, I'm gonna go with
Pascal.
It has to be
yeah. I think I want to say OG so bad though, but yeah.
OG was taking a few picks after Pascal, but I don't think it was enough to be like, I think it's 9 to 14 or something.
No, Pascal was late 20s.
Oh, Pascal was late 20s. Oh, so then I'm wrong. OG was 14.
Hold on.
I think Pascal was 27 or something.
Oh, then it's pretty. Remember. Yeah, it's definitely Pascal then.
27th.
Yeah, that's.
I was right. 27th. Okay.
Yeah. That's and
OG I know was 23rd.
That's Malachi Flynn territory.
OG
Yeah,
23rd.
exactly.
I thought OG was earlier. 23rd is pretty late too.
23rd.
Yeah,
That's because he tore his ACL. I think like that hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
But then you realize his legs are made out of like titanium steel, and it's just like, why would you worry about that?
Wrote an article about that all the way back
About
how we should draft OG.
Really?
23.
Good for you.
And it happened a few months later.
Nice.
Yeah, but just just to be that guy, I'm gonna say OG. Just to disagree with you guys, I'm going OG. Sorry, guys.
I mean, yeah.
No, Pascal's his story is crazy. I feel like because we have Fred as well, and like OG and like Norm Powell, all these late round picks, it's like a little under the table, but like Pascal is a pretty crazy story to go that high, that low in the draft and become who he's become, and to
one
like
of the best
start playing
draft steals, I
basketball
think, in the NBA. Forget like on the roster. I think Pascal, when you look at the entire NBA, he's been one of the best draft steals overall in the last 5 or so years.
Yeah. Well, and but going back to Freddie, like Tremont, like look at Tremont Waters, man. Like there have been so many dudes that are that size and that player type, and for Freddie to be who he is, like that really does blow me away. I think that's more understated than anything.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Not everyone's built like Pascal.
Like Pascal skills wise, yeah, exactly. Pascal is the body type to be an excellent player.
Mm-hmm. Iches123 says, is Mobley's defense as versatile as Scotty's? Does Mobley guard 3s and 2s? I can't answer the second question because I don't watch the Cavaliers enough, and I probably wouldn't. I just feel like they're one of the more boring teams in the league. I love Mobley though.
I wanted to
what do you guys think?
Hit on this one because I think versatility is not just about who you guard. So Scotty has more versatility in like who he can guard. Like definitely he can slide up and down the scale more than Mobley. But I think Mobley is just a more valuable defender because he does one thing very well, which is rim protection. And Scotty doesn't do any one thing very, very well right now. He could like I actually think there's a lot of upside in Scotty's rim protection. But we need more time to see if it ever actually comes to fruition.
I think, yeah, I agree. I think Evan can guard 1 through 5, perhaps not as effectively as Scotty, but he can guard like 3 through 5 at an elite level.
Right. Yeah, I'd agree.
I want to see that B-ball index graph. You guys know that graph when they put all those faces on the thing?
Positional versatility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. OG's always at the top.
I want to see OG in that top right corner. That's what I'm trying to see.
And Scotty will definitely be at the top this year as well.
And then like Rudy Gobert in like the top left. Because he only guards like 7'5" guys. Is that do we have another question? Do you guys want another one or should we
close it out? I think we're good.
I've been scrolling. I see a question. Is Scotty a roofer? Oh no, he's replying to someone. Okay. Whoa. Where are we going there? Okay. Yeah. I think that's it, guys. The rest are just comments on the actual stream or the game itself. Don't forget, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. We see 90 plus of you are watching. We thank every single one of you guys for watching. It was an hour plus today. I think the next Raptors game is in a couple days. I believe it's Tuesday. And that is
Spursians.
The San Antonio Spurs.
We're getting a nice run of B teams.
Oh yeah, it was three easy games in a row. And
DeJounte has been out. I don't know if he's back for Tuesday or not.
Still a winnable game though. I think if DeJounte's there.
Yeah.
No, he definitely. But I'm just saying, like he's an all-star this year, and if he's not playing,
good.
Like,
yeah. Can we scroll down a bit?
We got the Spurs, Bucks, Jazz, Pelicans,
Suns. That's tough. Okay, Bucks again.
Pistons.
Pistons. Guaranteed loss. Pistons.
That's a tough 4 Yeah. That's a tough 4 games there.
Yeah, we might go.
Well, the Pistons they should win. The thing is, like the Raptors at some point should get the opposite end of the luck, where they are the team that's healthy and the other team is not healthy.
Yeah,
you know,
we're starting to.
Yeah, this. Yeah, the Clippers game for sure was an example, and tonight as well. But some of these really good teams, maybe that will be the case, and that'll lighten the schedule. Like Phoenix, they've had a lot. They've stayed healthy this entire time. They haven't had any COVID problems.
I was wondering about that. Like if, like, as like a team, like you would wonder, because like getting the edge on another team is tantamount, right? So it's like you'd think some of these teams would run like really strict COVID policies to try and like get that advantage, because you could really just milk it right now if you were good at it.
Yeah, but COVID's like, it's impossible to predict. I think the Raptors were the stingiest team in the league before they got it. They started wearing like their masks to pressers and like on the bench and like all that stuff before they got it. So I think it's like just luck based.
Didn't this I think the CFL didn't let their players go anywhere. That was the CFL.
True. Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know.
That's crazy. Like I said, we appreciate all of you guys. We were at approximately, I think, almost 140 live viewers, which is pretty cool for a Sunday afternoon game.
These guys are arguing in the comments.
I know, it's great. There's been a lot of fire today. We're all just coming into 2022 hot.
I love it. I love it. You guys might as well, because you know how dull Mondays are. So just get out all the energy now on Sunday, Sunday night. I still have to eat dinner. I haven't done that yet. I don't know why.
Yeah, I got to make dinner and eat it. How was your guys' New Year's, though? Good New Year's, real quick?
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Went to bed at 10:30.
Oh.
It was good. Nice.
You're getting old.
I would have woke you up with sparklers and just...
I almost spent it with my parents this year, but I didn't. But I realized like I'm getting old because I thought about it.
No, trust me, I wanted to go gangbusters, but it's just now's not the time. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I love it. Before you guys leave us tonight, please, guys, like, comment, subscribe if you guys enjoyed the show. Subscribe to the Raptors Republic channel. Turn on the post notifications if you haven't already. Thank you to our producer, Don Yang, for doing all the background work while we were live. You guys cannot see him right now, but trust me, he is smiling, I think. Okay, we got a thumbs up. There we go.
Yeah, Don.
This was Wrap Up Live. This was your Raptors Republic post-game live show where your Toronto Raptors defeated the New York Knicks 120-105. That brought the record to 16-17 on the season. That was it for myself, Sahal Abdi. That was it for Oren Weisfeld, Adon Moss. We'll see you guys all on Tuesday for the San Antonio Spurs game. And that I believe is at home. So another quiet game.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Silent Masai.
Another game where we see Masai just in the middle of Scotiabank Arena by himself. We appreciate you guys again, like I said, and we'll see you very soon, Tuesday night.